Our top story, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is reacting to President-elect Trump's controversial round of cabinet picks, along with reports of a proposed warrior board that could shake up military leadership. 7 News reporter Chad Charette has more.
Following his decisive victory in the 2024 race for the White House, President-elect Trump has hit the ground running with rapid-fire cabinet nominations. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is UN ambassador. Former opponent turned ally Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is Health and Human Services Secretary, and staunch supporter Tulsi Gabbard is Director of National Intelligence, just to name a few. New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand says most of those picks have one thing in common.
Knowing what I know about President-elect Trump is that he seems to really place loyalty above all other qualifications. And so I think he's looking for a cabinet that is fundamentally loyal to him.
As their confirmation votes approach, Senator Gillibrand says she's concerned about the qualifications of some of Trump's appointees, like former Fox News host and potential Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. But one stands out as a particular sore spot: Matt Gaetz. Gaetz, who served as a Florida congressman prior to his resignation days ago, was embroiled in an ethics probe amid accusations of sex trafficking a minor.
He doesn't appear qualified and seems to have some very troubling aspects of his character and his record that would not be appropriate for the U.S. Attorney General.
There is one pick, however, that the senator is completely confident in.
The one that I do have confidence in is Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, so I plan to vote for him. Other than that, I'm going to have to meet one-on-one and really talk to these nominees to see if there's a basis for which I should support them.
Gillibrand also reacted to reports of a drafted executive order to create a, quote, warrior board of retired senior military personnel with the ability to recommend the removal of any 3- and 4-star officers from service.
You are politicizing the military, and we have tried very hard over many, many decades to make sure the military is not politicized.
Despite her opposition, Gillibrand expects most of Trump's cabinet picks to be confirmed, but she plans to meet with as many as she can. Chad Charette, 7 News.